Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. Prince Albert RCMP are learning more about a suspicious death in the south end of the city. On February 9th, RCMP say a person was found dead in the trunk of a vehicle that had burned at a property on 41st Street East. Investigation determined the truck, which had been reported stuck in a field, was previously stolen. The truck was towed to the business on 41st Street, where on February 7th, a fire was reported at the same address. Police have identified the individual as 39-year-old Stacy Badger from Mistawassa's First Nation. If you witness suspicious activity in the area of 41st Street East between the evening of February 6th and the morning of February 7th, report it to police, RCMP, or Crime Stoppers. An inquest into the death of a Saskatchewan penitentiary inmate has resulted in 5 recommendations from the jury. Brandon Lubkowski was found unresponsive in his cell in November of 2022, and a jury has submitted 5 recommendations to prevent similar deaths in the future. Jurors suggested adjusting policies so that correctional officers must see a living, breathing inmate during a check. Correctional officers should be required to carry 2 pairs of medical gloves in their duty kit, and an AED should be part of an emergency response kit. They also recommended healthcare workers receive scenario-based trauma training when hired, and to enforce no covering of cell doors or obstructing the view of cells. Lubkowski was found unresponsive behind a blanket covering his cell door. Physical and video evidence suggested his injuries were self-inflicted. Prince Albert Grand Council hosted a meeting at the Urban Services Building about recent hospital security incidents in the province. These recent incidents include a video of a man lying in the snow outside the Victoria Hospital that was shared widely on social media. In attendance were representatives from the Municipal Police, Fire Department, the City of Prince Albert, and local security companies, along with Indigenous leaders. The goal of the meeting was to re-examine policy for security companies and to find short-term goals that can be accomplished in the next few months that will lead toward heightened cultural sensitivity. The Grand Council will host additional meetings in the near future. 2 Saskatoon youth are facing charges after what RCMP call violent extremism was posted online. RCMP say on Tuesday they began an investigation with the help of Saskatoon police. They received a report that an online account was sharing content associated with violent extremism. 2 14-year-olds were arrested yesterday, are now charged with uttering threats. Both are being held at a youth correctional facility and are scheduled to be in provincial court on Tuesday. Saskatchewan RCMP have charged a 26-year-old man after an online harassment investigation. Prince Albert RCMP received a report January 14th of social media harassment. Through investigation, RCMP in Regina arrested 26-year-old Davis Keepness from Key First Nation. His charges include failing to comply with a probation order, criminal harassment, and committing an indecent act. He's scheduled to appear in Regina Provincial Court on February 17th. 2 men in Saskatoon face more than 20 charges after a trafficking investigation. Police arrested a 22-year-old man yesterday afternoon on Albert Avenue who was in possession of fentanyl. Then a 20-year-old man was arrested on Tate Court a short time later. Through a search warrants at 4 residences, investigators found and seized fentanyl, methamphetamine, cocaine, GHB, cash, trafficking equipment, and forged driver's licenses. Charges include trafficking and possession of a controlled substance. The Corman Park Police Service is rolling out a series of changes. One of the most visible updates is a new emblem. Chief Robert Duchin says it brings the service in line with other municipal police agencies. He says the service is also focused on improving efficiency and finding new opportunities to work with other police services.
Opportunities for us to lighten the administrative load for the RCMP, who are currently the agency of jurisdiction, and different ways that we can achieve efficiencies, whether that's with facilities, collaboration, joint projects.
Officers will begin wearing the new emblems immediately, and all police vehicles are expected to feature the updated branding within 5 years as the fleet is gradually replaced. The Military Police Complaints Commission has issued final reports into a 2021 sexual assault investigation involving a pilot at 15 Wing Moose Jaw. Commission Chairperson Tammy Tremblay has found that the investigation was plagued by multiple failures. The Commission also found that an internal military probe that led to arrest of an officer was inadequate, rushed, and affected by tunnel vision. The officer took his own life a few months after being charged. His family filed complaints over how the allegations were investigated. The Military Police Complaints Commission previously made several recommendations for reforms, but says all but one were dismissed. The chair described it as a lack of responsibility, and the military has yet to respond. Well, Jeff, just right on time for Valentine's Day. Our love affair with this good weather is about to end.
Hey, man, it's like we can still be friends.
There you go.
Look, yes, we are going into a cooling off period, but that doesn't really start until Monday. So the weekend is still pretty nice. So Valentine's Day weekend, however you want to quantify those dates, the bottom line is things are still looking pretty mild, pretty pleasant in that respect. And that's all because of, yes, that warm Pacific air. But we do start to see the breakdown of the ridge. It's been holding that in place, and we're starting to see cold Arctic air seep southward, and that will really impact us, particularly the middle of next week and into next weekend. So we'll talk about those details a little later on.
No one was injured when a car slammed into a home in the Pacific Heights neighborhood of Saskatoon earlier today. This was the scene in the 300 block of Mowat Crescent just before noon. The car slipped onto its side, and the impact of the collision causing significant damage to both the car and the house. Police say the driver of the vehicle suffered a medical incident. Neither he nor anyone at the home was seriously injured. Charges are not being laid. A new crew is rocketing toward the International Space Station this afternoon. The 4 astronauts lifted off from Cape Canaveral today on an 8 to 9 month mission. They're replacing a crew that returned to Earth early because of a medical issue with one of the astronauts. SpaceX launched the replacements as soon as possible at NASA's request. When we come back, a real-life love story. Mick Fable gets tips for a long and a happy marriage from 2 Saskatchewan lovebirds. As Valentine's Day draws near, a Saskatchewan couple is celebrating 65 years of marriage. Mick Fable has more on their story of love growing stronger with time.
On June 17, 1961, Dawn and Berva Pierce said, "I do" at the Broadway United Church. 65 years later, after many twists and turns, the two are still happily married, sticking side by side. When they met, their love got off to a quick start, with Dawn proposing to Berva after 2 months of being together.
I just thought, we're getting along so good and everything, and surely she'll marry me.
They would officially marry 2 years later after Berva finished her nursing training and Dawn nearly completed their home. It is here that they would stay for the next 40 years, raising a family and working outside. At the beginning, the idea of being together for decades upon decades was not much of a thought.
I was hoping for a long marriage, but, never dreamt it'd be that long.
When my mom and dad celebrated their 25th anniversary, I figured they're completely over the hill.
According to a 2024 report by Bonnier Institute of the Family, divorce rates have been dropping in Canada since the early 1990s. The report also says couples are marrying later in life, all positives pointing to marriages which could possibly stand the test of time. For those thinking of tying the knot, Pierce says that there should be some hope the union will last far into the future.
Well, I think they should go into the marriage figuring that it's going to last. I think so many kind of think, oh, well, if things don't go my way, I'll exit.
Over the years, Dawn has dealt with various health issues, battles that they have fought together. With Valentine's Day approaching, it is another opportunity to celebrate the life that they have built together.
I feel very blessed to still have Dawn in my life, all the things that he's gone through. So, very blessed. And we get along pretty darn good.
No, I have to win a few arguments.
This Valentine's Day will be a quiet one at Queen Victoria Estates. They plan on saying they love each other and hope that they have many more years to come, proving that their love grows sweeter with time. Mick Fable, CTV News, Regina.
After the break, Jeff has the long weekend weather forecast. After that, high-profile cancer deaths highlight the importance of screening. All right, Jeff, big weekend coming up and a long weekend, so I'm sure people would love to enjoy the outdoors. Can they with the weather?
I think they can. Of course, it's a double-edged sword because I know there's a lot of people who want to do a lot of outdoorsy things that sort of rely on cold weather. It's still going to be relatively mild. It will be getting cooler, John, but still a bit on the mild side for this time of mid-February. But let's take a look at our weather map. And once again, we do anticipate more in the way of precipitation for parts of BC that have been dry for a while, and then into the interior of British Columbia as well. Rain and snow at higher elevations. And the storm track still continues to sort of go north, so we don't really expect a lot of active weather across the Prairie provinces and central and southern areas. But the cold Arctic air is starting to slide southward, and it will certainly be in evidence midweek and then hanging around for a while thereafter. But we had a nice stretch. It was good for a while, but now we got to say goodbye. Let's take a look and see what we've got going on with our futurecast. Well, as you can see, the pressure line's far apart, so of course that means not much in the way of wind, and you don't see a whole lot of purple or blobs of any color coming across the borders. It's here and there. It's quite scattered in nature, so not much in the way of active weather. So 9 degrees on the minus side for Spiritwood, -8 for the Battlefords, -14 for Candle Lake, -12 for Birch Hills and Rostern and Melfort, -13 for Nipawin, and generally speaking, we're talking about increasing clouds in the overnight period. Making our way to Saturday, well, more in the way of cloudy conditions. In fact, clouds abound here. 2 degrees on the plus side for Spiritwood, the same for the Battlefords. -1, the expected daytime high for Candle Lake, Birch Hills, and Melfort. -2 for Nipawin, and right there at the freezing mark for Rostern and area. For Prince Albert and area, -14 degrees with increasing clouds. The winds backing off in the overnight period. As I mentioned, -14. And hey, don't forget, Shakespeare in Love is playing until tomorrow, I believe, at the E.A. Rawlinson Center. You can take a look at tomorrow's numbers. Yeah, -1 degree. Cloudy skies, winds out of the east at 10, so not a windy day at all. So pretty pleasant conditions. Cloudy and -1 when you consider a typical daytime high for Prince Albert and area would basically be around -10. This is quite warm indeed. Staying mild on Sunday, then bam, drops off to below seasonal values on Monday, -13, kind of manageable, and then cooler than that as we make our way into the middle part of the week, -16 on Tuesday, -15 on Wednesday, a chance of flurries on both of those days, and then for Thursday and Friday, mainly cloudy skies both days, and -16 for a high on Thursday, and -17 for a high on Friday. So really, starting to drop off temperature-wise, but I think people will, be able to handle those mid-teen numbers.
There you go. And there is still time, Jeff, because if you've fallen victim like me when somebody or your sweetheart says, no, I don't want anything this Valentine's, you still have to get something. Absolutely. And
you better get something.
There you go. That's a trap that everybody falls into at least once.
Only guys follow that for that trap.
All right. Thanks, Jeff. Well, the University of Saskatchewan Huskies women's basketball team capped off their regular season with a perfect 20-0 record. As Keenan Sorokan tells us, they entered the playoffs looking for back-to-back national championships.
A lot has changed in the world since November 2nd, 2024. Donald Trump became president of the United States. The postal strike affecting mail delivery for months didn't happen until nearly a year later, and Pope Leo XIV was still a cardinal. But one thing that hasn't happened since November 2nd, 2024 is the University of Saskatchewan Huskies women's basketball team losing a game.
Just crazy to think of. Kind of snuck up on us, actually. It's not something that you really think about as the season's going on.
The Huskies have won 50 games in a row, which has them in the playoffs this weekend after a historic 20-0 regular season as the defending Canada West and national champions.
Next thing you know, over the course of a year and a half or almost 2 seasons, we're at 50 games. So, like I said, the team's super veteran. We want to win every game we play, and so here we are.
The last undefeated team to win the conference is the Simon Fraser Red Leafs, who won in 2005. And despite nearly forgetting what it's like to lose, these dogs are hungry to get their paws on another trophy.
When it's more than basketball to us, when it's a lifestyle, when it's friends, family you get to surround yourself with, I think that's just the secret.
The players credit Coach Lisa Tomaitis for getting the best out of each of them, knowing there's history on the line.
She's the best at what she does, so we're grateful, so grateful to be learning from her every week.
Entering the playoffs as the #1 seed in the country, like they have all year, means there's a target on their back, and they wouldn't have it any other way.
We know that we're going to get every team's best game, and everybody plays their best basketball against us, and so it definitely holds us to the highest standard.
The Huskies' playoff drive begins tomorrow at the Pack. Keenan Sorakan, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The Saskatchewan Roughriders have added a running back from the NFL.
The 50 since the first half against the Niners is Henderson again. He's got another big run.
1st and 10.
Oh, they're going to bring him down?
Darrell Henderson Jr. played 5 years with the LA Rams, including a Super Bowl championship in 2022. The 28-year-old has 19 NFL touchdowns, but hasn't played professionally since 2023. He joins a room that includes A.J. Ouellette, Thomas Bertrand-Udon, and Mario Anderson Jr.
Do you have a community event you would like to promote? Or maybe you'd like to draw attention to your organization. Let your local CTV station help you spread the word. Contact us at 306-922-6020 or email panews@ctv.ca. You can appear on CTV Prince Albert's News at 5 and get your message to our viewers.
Two recent celebrity deaths, both related to colorectal cancer, are prompting experts to remind the public about screening. Pauline Chan reports.
What? Catherine O'Hara and James Vanderbeek had both been diagnosed with colorectal cancer before they died.
It's the 4th common cancer in Canada, and it's the 3rd leading cause of death for both men and women. So these were very famous cases, but this is happening to average people every day.
And more cases recently are being diagnosed in younger people, aged 25 to 49. Vanderbeek was just 48 when he died.
There's a lot of research around this, but nobody really knows why it's increasing in this young age group.
Jen Waterman knows the importance of early detection. She was just 42 when she was diagnosed with stage 3 cancer in 2020.
When I talked about the symptoms, what I was experiencing, I really did think it was stress. Like, it was all in line. That's all I thought it was.
If colorectal cancer is caught early, by that we mean stage 1, it has not spread, the survival rates are 90%. And so we're looking at great statistics for survival. However, if it is caught at a later stage, the survival drops down significantly.
In Canada, screening is covered starting at age 50, but you may need earlier screening if you have symptoms like blood in your stools or a change in bowel habits, or if a close relative had colorectal cancer.
Meaning your mother, your father, or a sibling that has had colon cancer, you should be screened actually 10 years younger than the onset of that family member's disease.
These situations are also covered by OHIP.
I don't have any of the risk factors at all. I mean, not only being young, but there's nothing in my family.
Jen is grateful her doctor took her concerns seriously as soon as she mentioned them, and she says she owes her life to early screening. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
A 95-year-old Vancouver Island woman isn't letting her age slow her down. She hits the gym as hard as she hits the books so she can keep up with the youth. Adam Sawatsky has more.
Before we can appreciate where she's going,
I'm not the type to sit back and
do nothing.
Delia Vischer reveals where she's been.
I danced in New York City.
Although anybody could buy a T-shirt from Radio City Music Hall, Delia has the pictures to prove she danced there.
In my youth.
Although she didn't start training to be a ballerina until the relatively late age of 13.
It was difficult, but I survived it.
By the time she was 20, Delia had risen the ranks to become a soloist, performing 4 shows a day on the iconic stage for up to 16,000 people.
It's a bit mind-blowing.
Delia danced at Radio City Music Hall for more than a decade, before becoming a manager at Juilliard and later other arts organizations.
It was a wonderful, stressful job.
Wonderful, because Delia loves doing things that are difficult.
If there was something else I'd never done, well, go ahead and do it. See what you can make out of it.
So, after raising her daughter, retiring from her career, and caring for her husband who had Alzheimer's, Delia decided to try doing marathons when she was 80.
Well, that was when I had the time to do it, you know.
And Delia made up for lost time, earning a wall full of medals and using her runs to raise more than $40,000 for charity.
And being able to say at my age, I can still do these things.
Now, at the age of 95, Delia spends 5 days a week training physically. During the other 2, her focus is more mental, taking university courses online and connecting with people of all ages in person.
So that I can kind of keep up with what the different generations feel about life today.
And what Delia has learned is the most important thing in life?
Kindness, to be kind, to think of others.
And along with always treating people the way you want to be treated, be kind to yourself by always moving forward.
Oh, it's wonderful, yeah.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Saanich.
All that walking, Jeff, and I'm getting hungry, so let's just skip right to the next video of some donuts. This is in Poland, where an unusual competition represents a final chance to pack in delicious calories before Lent. Clearly, they have no holes in their donut game as they take part in this annual speed eating contest held on the Thursday before Lent. And I'm trying to think, Jeff, how many donuts could you crush if you were in this competition?
In this competition? Oh, I don't know. I don't think I could do more than, 10.
There you go. I've seen someone eat 6 honey crullers on a layover.
6 are easy. Honey crullers, come on.